Hi and welcome back. I'm Paul.
I'm Martin.
So, mate, communication is the bare minimum. Discuss.
Well, this starts. I think this is in any form of life, but this starts way before the match, way before the game, way before the dressing room. It's about, for me, there's two sides of it. It's about communicating and improving your relationships off the pitch to then have a massive impact on the pitch. The other side of it is then, giving the goalies today the opportunity to learn loads of trigger words for when they're on the pitch to actually help affect the team in a positive manner.
So we're saying, obviously in the context of this, we're talking about goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Clearly this communication relates across the entire team, and not just teams, but other aspects, business, etc. So let's bring it back to the goalkeeper. So, okay, he's the key communicator. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or he should be the key communicator in the team. Because?
He's got the best view.
Okay.
The goalie has the best view in terms of the players. The players actually playing in the game. He has the best view, or she has the best view, and they can see the picture. They can see the whole picture, and I think as a captain for, say, a centre midfield player, that's great. But there's times where they may be doing little doggies and little shuttle runs, and they're flying around like crazy lunatics. But at the same point, they still may need to give some information out. Well, the goalkeeper doesn't have to do which we're always commonly known to be told we don't do a lot. But we don't need to be doing them. We don't need to be doing shuttle runs and stuff and doggies and getting close and pressing. And so we've got a massive advantage to be able, in a nice, calm environment, organise and structure and encourage. So we've got big advantages as the goalie.
It's interesting, picking up on something we talked about in the previous podcast. We talked about Aaron Ramsdale and how good he was at focusing. I guess it's kind of interrelated, isn't it? If you're in a game and you haven't got a lot to do, but you've got to keep focus, I guess part of keeping that focus, if you are the communicator, you're almost forced to focus because you're the one that's calling the shots, for want of a better phrase to some extent. That's what you're saying. Is that important, is it?
Yeah. I think one, it keeps you involved in the game, right? There's nothing worse, and I may have said this before. I'll always remember this, being a 10-year-old goalie. I've got nothing to do. I've had nothing to do in about 25 minutes, and then catch myself leaning against post, watching an EasyJet flight go over the pitch. And it's like, am I bored? I'm questioning myself. Am I bored? Do I not like football? What's going on? But I wasn't engaged in the game. So being engaged in the game constantly throughout the whole game and consistently is communicating.
Yeah.
So if you can learn to communicate, and let's be honest, it doesn't matter what you say at this point. Some people go, yeah, but they're saying the wrong thing. Well, how old is he? Well, he's 8. He can't say the wrong thing. Don't worry about what he's saying at the minute. Get them talking, get them communicating, get them, feeling confident in themselves. Then we can start adding, trigger words in. And there's loads of things they can say.
What do you mean by trigger words? What?
So, for example, they're coming out really basic. They're coming out for a cross or a through ball. They're going to shout keepers. If they're coming out, if there's a ball coming into the box, they can't come. They're going to shout away. And then you've got lots of other things like, as you roll the ball, telling the defender to turn because they got space behind them, or telling them to hold it, or getting the back 4 or back 3 to squeeze up the pitch. So they're condensing the pitch to make it harder for the other team. Telling someone there's a player on their defender left shoulder. There's a player on the left shoulder. So look towards their left shoulder. Oh, there's a player there. Needs to be marked. Left shoulder, right shoulder. There's so many words. And I think maybe on this pod we'll try and put a list out for goalies to do that. That's only one side of it for me. And the older I've realised how strong this is. The other side is communicating to improve your relationship with your players on the pitch. And that's why I said at the beginning, this starts way before even before the dressing room.
But I guess it's one of the same thing, isn't it, to some extent? So if you go back, you can't teach the keeper trigger words if his teammates don't know what those trigger words mean? So already it has to be a collective communication for everybody to be on the same page.
Yes, yeah, completely. And I've run camps before in the past where we bring this up. It's one of the classroom topics. And I'll get them to put their hand up. Who thinks their players don't listen? Oh, and all the hands go up. You're like, great. What have you done? Have you actually asked them? Oh, no, I've not asked them. So they're not listening, but you've not had any conversation with them off the pitch to find out whether they can hear you, whether they can hear you or they can't hear you. Do they understand you? You know, they've not had that communication with them at all. So
how do you do that in a formal session? Get everybody together? Is it in the pub after? Where is it? How do you, or does it just naturally evolve as you have a group of players that grow?
One
together?
of the best I've seen.
I guess you can't force it, can you?
No, one of the best I've seen do this is a goalkeeper, Scott Shearer. Whoever knows Scott is probably now panicking because there's numerous amount of stories you definitely can't tell on any podcast.
Right, well, keep the clean ones for this one then.
But the minute someone
come apologies in advance, Scott. Yeah. Is it one of those? Yeah, okay, right.
The minute someone would come in new to the football club, he goes straight over to him. He says, hello, how are you? I'm Scott, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't clock this at the beginning. And then after about 4 or 5 months of seeing it, oh, this is really, really clever, really intelligent, because it came quite natural to him, but that new person, their go-to person straight away was him. So straight away before they've even got on the pitch, the training pitch, let alone the match pitch, there's a bit of a bond there. There's a bit of a relationship there. And I've taken a little bit of that. I've tried to put it into my own coaching game, but also my own life skills as well. But he was immense at it. And they would be the go-to person then for him. You know, they would. So then when training started, they'd always have a little bit of a laugh with them, and you think, is he doing this on purpose? Is he learnt this himself and he's bringing it into his game? For me, it wasn't important at that point. He was just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and the relationship he had on the pitch was fantastic with the players, because if he lost the plot for any reason on the pitch, the relationship was good enough to go, yeah, Scotty's probably right. Yeah, no problem. You know, and instead of, no, you do your job. Do your job. And then you've got like a 12, you've got an 8-year-old school playground, argument going on, which is not necessary.
I mean, I guess it's why, and you see it right across the world, really, why goalkeepers often become captains. I guess it's that same thing, isn't it? They're bringing the squad together. There's communication is good. They've got the right mindset. Whatever it is, they bring if they can learn that skill set, it's a skill set that is potentially very beneficial for the whole team.
Yeah. But it hasn't always got to be. I think a lot of people relate communication with negativity. And we go back to, Peter Schmeichel. What do people remember Peter Schmeichel for? Well, really having a go at his defenders. What they didn't see is the relationship he had with Steve Bruce and these sort of players off the pitch.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know him from Adam, but apparently he was like one of the most calmest people you've ever met off the pitch.
I haven't read the book. You've read the book?
Reading the book at the minute, funny enough. Yeah.
Do some of those points come through? What kind of character was he? Just going off track a little bit?
He just seemed really... I mean, I didn't meet him, but I see him once at a game, and he just looks so mellow and calmed and chilled.
Yeah.
And it's like... He obviously has a trigger point. The minute he goes on the steps on the pitch, he wants to be the sergeant. And he wants to lead, and he wants to be the captain, if you like. But he obviously worked on a relationship off the pitch to then be able to, But going back to my point was that it's not negativity. It's actually the complete opposite. But what you should do is when you're in the next in your game, see if you can get someone, and it's not easy to do, but see if you can get someone to write down the words that you're actually saying in the game. And then after, read what they actually say. Because you'll be amazed, a lot of them will be negative. They will be really negative.
Yeah.
So it's a real good task.
Teammate to teammate, you mean?
Yeah. I've done it before where we're managers and I've on my watch and I've actually recorded the halftime team talks. Not for me, not to share it, not to post it.
Yeah.
I send it to him. So then after he can listen to it and go, no, I didn't say that. Don't be silly, I didn't lose the plot.
There you go.
Oh my God. I didn't realise.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. So it only takes one message for him to listen for it and go, God, my communication skills are really aggressive. They weren't constructive. It weren't positive. So, but with the communication skills on the pitch, it is about being positive. And I always say with goalies, what's the only license you've got to technically have a go at a player? And it's if you feel they're being lazy. If you feel they're being lazy. And if you see on, when they did on, was it Amazon, did a Tottenham documentary?
Yeah.
Mourinho.
Yeah.
And Lloris and Son come in, and they both have a go at each other. And I took a screenshot of when Lloris said something, and it was subtitles. It come up something like, "You didn't make the run. You needed to make the run. Everyone else made the run apart from you." So he was talking defensively. So it's not like you made a mistake, you're rubbish, you're not good enough. Everyone made the run to get back to affect the team. You didn't make the run. So it's like he's got every reason to go.
And it's quite interesting. So I know Hugo because when I was working for All Sport, obviously got to know him on photo shoots and stuff like that. He's actually quite a quiet guy. So which gets me thinking, because I get the point you can be a born leader. So get the point. There's going to be certain goalkeepers. It comes naturally to them to be, a good communicator. You've then got a much bigger raft, I'm sure, where they're listening to this thinking, yeah, but I'm not confident. I'm quite shy. I don't have the confidence, which is kind of Hugo. He's quite a shy guy. He's not that. You never really see him out in the press. He's not that type of person that's putting himself way out there. And yet in a team environment, clearly does. And there's a good example. Captain. Yeah. He's made captain for the obvious reason. So I guess my point is, how do you, if I'm in that, a little bit shy, not quite sure, he's talking about trigger words, how do I make myself a better keeper? How do I learn these communication skills? Where do I go to?
If you start by trying to have conversations off the pitch in a one-to-one situation and improve that relationship with, I'm going to say left back, just an example. I'm the goalie, you're the left back. We're going to try and find a common ground. Whether we're 8 or 28 doesn't matter for me. What school do you go or whatever it is, and it might be, do you like golf? Oh yeah, I like a little bit of golf. I like cycling or whatever. Build that relationship first. Then once you then go onto the training pitch, the relationship's better. Okay. Then give yourself maybe 3 words. One's an encouragement. It's 2 words, but well done. One phrase, well done. One's going to be keepers if you feel like it's coming near you, and one's going to be get up. So there's 3 things. And all the academies I've worked at, I've always given 5 to 6 words to start off with from under 9. Under 9s, there's 5 words we're going to learn, or phrases. Well done, get up, keepers, 5. Once they learn them, that's all I want you to say throughout the game. Confidence builds. They start understanding why I'm actually saying this, and then we can add another 2 or another 3.
Yeah.
But just to not say anything is difficult, and it is tough. When working with Matt Ingram at Wickham as well, Matty was very, very similar. Really, really shy, and really, and I said, look, when you go onto the pitch, we're going to need to maybe act out a little bit.
You're performing.
You've got to be an actor, because you are on the stage. There's people coming in to pay to watch. You're on the stage. So let's just start with 5 things that you're going to start by saying. But we need to, if we improve the relationship off the pitch, it'll massively help you when you go onto the pitch, immensely. And I really believe that. And, this year last couple of years I've been working at Boreham Wood for, part-time, and thoroughly enjoyed working, especially on this side of it, trying to improve my relationship with players, because I've been at clubs before and you don't really have a connection with the centre forward because you don't really deal with him, and then the right winger, and I'm like, I'm going to communicate with as many players as I can to try and improve that relationship. And then what I'm going to try and do is see if I can connect the right winger with the left wing, and see if we can just get their communication slightly better off the pitch.
So you, even though you're the goalkeeper coach, you're facilitating it. In fact, are all of the key members of staff, are you all in that mindset? Are you all facilitating that
Completely.
Communication.
Completely.
Communication
and it's been
is
a
key.
massive.
Communication is king.
It's been a massive success this year for me on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking now. You're top of the league, you're fourth round of the FA Cup. I mean, for a club like Boreham Wood, that's fantastic. Huh?
It's phenomenal. It really is.
But mindset, communication, you're saying, has had a massive impact on the performance on the pitch.
Yeah, and here's an example. Maybe a couple of years ago, someone may shout out something on the pitch instead of a response of, right, why is he shouting at me? Shouting at me because he wants me to do this. Why does he want me to do this? Right, it's to benefit the team. 2 years ago, it would have been, why is he shouting at me? Well, I'm going to shout at him. Now, the process he's going through his head thinking, why is he shouting? Yeah, maybe I need to tuck in. Yeah, no problem. And it's that's kind of the response. And sometimes it's not even, yeah, no problem. They just go and do it.
Yeah.
And you notice it off the pitch. Instead of having 5 or 6 different groups of lads, all of a sudden you've got like 2. Or maybe sometimes we're all in a circle together and we're all bantering and laughing and taking the mick at each other. And it's been, the communication's been phenomenal. I don't think, to touch wood I don't think they've technically had a row on the pitch yet. We're 20 games in or 18 games in.
That's brilliant.
Last year we were doing 4 or 5 arguments a game, between the players, or and the managers. The managers just been a different level with this year in terms of team talks. Massively changed, and adjusted it.
I mean, it's the same in business, I guess. I've had it building teams in business.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the more you communicate, the better you communicate, the better you all communicate, the better the leader is as a communicator, leader in inverted commas. It absolutely has a positive impact right across the business, not least in terms of how people are feeling, but also that everybody likes to be part, most people like to be part of something bigger, don't they? If you're part of a team and everybody's pulling in the same direction, pushing in the same direction, I get it. So I guess some of those, and I probably even find myself, it's really interesting you talk about trigger words. Probably a lot of business owners, business leaders, they don't even realise it, but they probably, for their teams, whether it be their sales teams or the marketing teams or accounts, whatever department it is, probably have their same trigger words, same things that they say to reinforce whatever message they're trying to get across, whatever the business objectives are.
Yeah. I just find it really interesting. If you go to most clubs, the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, it's not good here. Communication's terrible."
Yeah.
And like you said with business, you didn't tell me that I had to go and package that up to get it in the post, or you didn't, so...
We even find on the back end of the business with Glove Glue, from a customer care point of view.
Yeah.
Transparency, immediacy is fundamental. If you delay responding and your responses are to a customer care query pretty woolly, it does you no favours whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yet we all experience customer care levels where you get exactly that. It takes 2, 3, 4 days to respond. You can't get through to them. You're sitting on the phone for 20 minutes. Whatever it is, it just gives you the performance of that business clearly is not at a level that it should be.
So that is, for me, that is the massive key is communication.
So communication is key. I've got my trigger words. What else can I do to help myself? So I'm not lucky enough to have you as a coach. Are there some activities that I can do as an individual, solo activities, to help learn to, when I am in that team environment, how do I work on it? What's my homework from the podcast, from the video?
I think if you're a young goalie listening, and I know they're going to have different mindsets. You're older, your older generation, but even starting at school, trying to just have conversations with people, rather than drives me mad with the kids are sitting on the phone. Yeah. You're like, that's going to affect you later on in life, because you're not going to be, you're not going to be as sociable. I can't say that as a truth, but they're constantly here, and there's not that interaction.
Yeah, you really sound like a dad now.
Yeah. Put the phone down and try and have a conversation with someone.
Devices away from the table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless me and Mum want to have a chill out, and we're getting back out again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think you can do that. I think it can, for the younger ones, you can start at school. For the older ones, 100% go and talk to the left back or the right back or the centre midfielder player about something completely away from football. Start building some sort of relationship, okay? And then once that gets onto the training pitch, that's a great chance to really have a good go at it and express yourself, right? You're trying to help the team. That's what the main thing is. It's not you dictating. You know, I've heard that so many times maybe as a dad standing on the sideline, as a dad listening to other dads. Yeah, the goalie's got to dictate what he wants. No, it ain't what he wants. It's what he's trying to affect for the whole team. That's what they're trying to do. But trigger words. See if you can get your trigger words.
Yeah.
Find out what they are, and we will try and put a list out for people. But for me, the three main ones are going to be that encouragement. People love being encouraged, right? That's what gets most people through the marathon every year. Well done, keep going.
Totally.
I've had it myself. You know, I knew 14 miles in, my wife and kids are going to be there. I'm buzzing. I'm now buzzing.
You're waiting for it.
I get to 15, I'm dying of death again.
Yeah.
Then you find out they're going to be at the 18th. I'm buzzing again. You know, so the encouragement is massive.
Yeah.
Keep us in a way and maybe squeeze, get up. Yeah, as in get the defensive line up a little bit. Start by trying this in training. Move it into the game. And if you've got a problem with someone in terms of your left back or right back, whatever, talk to them about it. Why'd you never give me the ball? I didn't know you shouted for it. So maybe I need to be a bit louder then. Yeah, try and be a bit louder. Perfect. Communicated.
Brilliant.
The next time it happens, they're actually going to give you the ball.
Brilliant. So there you have it. So for the YouTube video, we'll drop a list of those trigger words in the comments section. For those of you that subscribe to developinggoalkeeping.com, we'll ping a list of those trigger words out to you. So there you have it. Communication is key. Thanks for listening.